Do your advertising campaigns succeed as well as they could? Even if a campaign is working well, there are always ways to make it better. The hard part is figuring out which changes will make things run better. You can only be sure if you test them. So, A/B testing comes into play. Before we talk about how to use A/B testing, let's first talk about what it is. A/B testing, also called split testing or bucket testing, is a way to see which version of an ad, landing page, or any other part of a marketing campaign works better. To do an A/B test, you change one part of your campaign and then run both versions, keeping track of how well they do. Then you can use the change that led to the best results. For example, on a landing page, you might write two different phrases for the CTA button. Then you would run both versions at the same time and see which one got more people to sign up. You can use this same method to test an ad, social media post, email, or any other part of a campaign, as well as to improve different parts of the same landing page. A/B testing can be helpful when changing one part of a website or ad could make it work better and help you reach your campaign's goal. As we've already talked about, you can't be sure that a change will make your campaign work better until you test it. You might be able to get started with general best practices, especially for big picture plans. But when it comes to the details, you need to try out different ideas to see what works best for you. That's why it's important to do split testing. It lets you test your real campaigns with your real audience and backs up the decisions you make with data. This way of optimizing your marketing can help you reach your campaign goals. Whether you want to boost sales on an e-commerce site, get more people to interact with you on social media, or reach some other goal. You can try out these parts of your campaign at any time. A/B testing can be helpful at the beginning of a project, but you should also use it to make small changes to your strategy as you go. You can make your campaign better the more you test it. Over time, you can make big changes to how well your campaign does. You should also come back and test things every once in a while, because what works best can change over time. There are many kinds of media that could help reach these goals. Here are some of these channels: marketing emails, banner ads, social media posts, e-newsletters, website pages, mobile advertising, plans for marketing campaigns. You can use A/B testing to find out how well any part of your website affects customer behavior or conversion rates. Here are some examples of things to test: headlines, subheadlines, text to click, button to click, email subject lines, images and graphics, product descriptions, copy for an ad. How do you choose which parts to test when there are so many? If you want to get the most out of your testing, it's best to have a structured way to decide what to test. In a recent survey by eConsultancy and Redeye, those who used a structured approach to conversion saw their sales go up by 74%. You'll need to do some research first. Look at your campaign data from the past to figure out what you might want to change. Find out how people use your site by using web analytics and mouse tracking analysis. If you want to A/B test your email marketing, you should look at things like open rates, click-through rates, and conversions. You can also use surveys and interviews to find out what people think about your website, emails, or whatever else you want to test. Lastly, don't forget to compare parts of your campaigns to what is known to be the best way to do things. This study should give you a list of things to check. Next, you have to decide which parts of the system to test first. Set the order of importance based on how much value each possible improvement could add. You can figure out how much they are worth by doing research like the ones above. Also, figure out how hard it would be to make the necessary changes. Think about how long it would take, how hard it would be to make the change, and if there are any risks. Lastly, test the parts in the order you gave them importance. You can test each part of a campaign if you want to, but you should only do one test at a time. So, you'll know for sure which part caused the performance to get better or worse based on your testing. So, how do you test your marketing campaigns with A/B tests? Here's a simple plan you can use. Choose which parts of your campaign you want to test. You must first decide what to test. Look for landing pages, ads, or other parts that are doing well, or look at how campaigns from the past did. Then use web analytics and other research tools to come up with a theory about why it isn't doing well. For example, you might be wondering if your CTA button is too small. Rank the things you want to test and start with the most important one. Make two different versions of that part. Once you know what you want to test, you can pick or make the two different versions. For example, you might make two versions of a banner ad, one with an image and one without. You can also compare a new version of an element to one that is already there. For example, you could leave one landing page the same and compare it to the same page with a bigger call to action button. Make a plan for how you will measure your results. Make sure you have a plan for keeping track of how your campaigns are doing. Know what you're looking for, like more sales, more people signing up for your newsletter, more comments on your Facebook posts, or something else. Also, say how big a change would have to be for it to be statistically important. If you want to test something for a campaign element that already exists, you can use its current performance as a starting point. Plan out how long your test will take. Decide how long the test will last. Make sure your testing period is neither too short nor too long, as this can lead to wrong results. Try it out. The test needs to be done now. Make sure to test one thing at a time so you can figure out which thing changed the results. Run both versions at the same time and try to keep the groups that see each version the same in size, demographics, and other ways so that the results don't get messed up. If you are doing a large test on a website page, you could randomly split your visitors between the two versions. If you want to test a marketing email, you can make two test groups of customers whose demographics are the same or very similar. Look at the results and make changes. After the time you set for your test has passed, you'll have your results. If your test didn't give you clear answers, change your hypothesis and try again. If there was a clear winner, use the variation that did better. Feed the data from your analysis into your data management platform. This will help you improve your current campaigns and those you will run in the future. Do the process again. You can use A/B testing again and again to improve your marketing campaigns and make them work even better. After you've done your first test, do another one with the next thing on your list. This part could be a part of the same thing you just tested, or it could be a part of something else. You should also keep doing A/B testing because customer tastes and trends change over time. How you run your tests is very important to getting accurate results, but what you do with the results is also very important. You should use the best performing version, but you can also use the results in other ways to improve how well your campaign works. Here are some ideas for how to use the results of your A/B tests. Implement the results across your site. Once you've used what you've learned on the page, email, or ad you tested, try it on other similar elements as well. If, for example, a red call to action button works better on one landing page, it might also work better on another. You can even check your results on these other pages. With just one split test, you can improve the way your whole site or marketing campaign works. Track the differences between different types of audience. You can also look more closely at your test results to learn even more. One of the best ways to do this is to compare your results across different groups of your audience. There are a lot of different parts you can look at. You can divide your audience into different groups based on the devices they use to access your site, whether they are new or returning visitors, and whether they came directly to your page or through an internal link. You can also look at information about age, location, gender, income level, and interests, beliefs, and preferences. Use different elements across segments. Use what you learn from your tests about how your audience is split up to make different campaigns for different types of customers. For example, you might find that a page with big pictures works better for people on smartphones, while a page with a little more text works better for people on desktops. You can then make two different versions of your page for each group. Use the results to guide your next tests. Using the results of each test to plan the next ones can help you work faster and get better results. If you find out, for example, that your customers like videos, you can try out more videos in the future. Test results should be put together. You can also look at different parts of pages that have already been tested to improve them. For example, if you tested the subject line of an email first, you would then test the text in the email's body. The more tests you do, the more information you get. When you put the results of your tests together, you can improve your campaigns even more. Archive your test results. When you're done with each test, make sure the results are filed away in a way that makes sense.